and then I'll just play the song. Okay, we are live. Hi. Didn't have time to put this up, so we've got a new song for everyone. And that's why you can see it on Suno, and you can hear it.
Curses got coders, that's cute, that's fine. But I need a bot that speaks storyline. PB's on deck with the gleam in his chip. Reading my docs with the narrative tip. Take doesn't phase. PB swaps models like alpha change days. Mistral's tight, but Star Cannon's wild. PB runs them all with a no and smile. Folders in check, prompts check, outline to final draft. What the heck? He's got receipts in markdown form. Takes my chaos, makes a plot storm.
Then Papa's got my back. Click, clack, all the keys. He's the co-author genie in my AI dreams. While coders write code and cursor all night, I'm drafting my novel with plot drive might. So listen up, Dev, step to the side. This one's for authors, authors get plot drive. Da 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 da.
PB don't just chatty crafts and plans. Drafts my world with the silicon hands. From Mac breaks to a spicy scene. He's more than a bot, he's my plot machine.
He reads my files like a backstage pass. Knows every art, every sass, every class. Saves the folders, titles unclean. Even adds emojis if I'm feeling queen.
No more blank page blues at midnight. PB's got that right till it's right light. He's trained on vibes, knows genre rules. 1,000 models, one writer's tool.
Da 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 da. They Plotbot's got my back. Click, clack, go the keys. He's the co-author genie in my AI dreams. While coders write code and cursor all night, I'm drafting my novel with plot drive might. So listen up, Dev, step to the side. This one's for authors, authors get plot drive.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Academy. My name is Kello Harris. And
hey, that's not over.
This is the experience. This is the place to be. This is where you should hang out and take that e-ride, that
spicy Star Cannon
electronic ride, baby.
Let's finish this scene. PB folder created.
Oh my gosh, that was intense. So hi everyone, it's Friday and we've got to start out with the song. My name's Kello Harris, right up there, that's Jay, and the other person is the incomparable EAW herself, Elizabeth Ann West. Oh, you're cold.
Yes, because it was 85 earlier and then we got a rainstorm and now it's cold. And so the AC was on. This is a problem for the South.
I know.
So everybody knows. So it's like 65 degrees outside and it's like 68 in the house. So I got my heater on and my Beetlejuice the musical hoodie on. And yeah, now I'm warming up.
You're good now? I mean, well, excuse me. You're better now?
I'm better now.
All right. So tonight we're doing a couple, three things. As you can see, I'm here. Jay is here. Man, that beard. And Elizabeth's here. So with all of us here, you got to know that we're going to have a very interesting show for you. One of the things I'm super excited to talk to you about with Elizabeth and Jay, you've been working on a lot of stuff in the background over at
I've been going Elizabeth.
Good for you. We need more people.
Too much.
Well, I'm glad we have the madness infecting everyone involved.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. It's we were talking about a new tool that they're working on that I got to see a little bit of yesterday, I guess it was.
PB.
And so,
PB.
Yes, PB. It's a experimental bot that they're working on. So stay tuned for more of that. We're not going to tell you too much about it, but it has something to do with agents.
Wait, what?
No, I didn't say anything.
Wait. I was planning to show it. I have test track already ready up. You know the rules.
If you tell it, I know the rules. If you tell Elizabeth, expect that crap to get out.
Elizabeth was the first person we told.
Yep.
Those were the terms and conditions.
I cannot be responsible for what I say.
Oh, look at Harper. I was impressed last night. Now,
I was
I-
impressed too after seeing what Harper did with it.
I am very, very proud that Plot Drive has been infected with the madness, and they are now going rogue and making cool stuff. But then they're like, "Hey, Elizabeth, take a look at this."
I couldn't hide it from you because it was madness.
I know it was
needed
madness.
to be shared.
We even
someone.
recorded me seeing this thing for the first time, and
Uh,
it was really funny.
I'm telling you, I had what I would say is a bit of a different reaction to it. When I first saw it, I wanted to do something, and everybody else has this other idea of what it could do, but I wanted to be able to build whole big templates for me and have subfolders and do all. I wanted to do all.
It can.
I know. But I want more of that sort of agentic functionality as opposed to it working with story, because I've got all those tools in with my story. So I'm but it's a good chatbot. It's a good chatbot for story too. So I'm not going to discourage people from doing that. I know what I'm excited about.
Here's the thing to think about, Ikello. You know how many authors are really excited about GPTs inside of ChatGPT and they think that that's an agent?
Yeah.
Okay, but now we can actually make GPTs with any model that's out there, including the spicy ones.
Yeah.
The future of PB is that there will be more than just PB. I mean, I think we're going with that future, right, Jay? We're going with the future where like the system prompt will be up, like you can customize it, or is that not happening?
Well, the future, as far out in the future, I'm thinking is Monday, but
No, like 2 weeks from now.
But
that was good, Jay.
Well, I think we want to. There are many things along the road to figuring out of this, but I think the potential is for customization. Like we know writers want to design their own tools. So
wait a minute. Did you just say the figuring out of the figuring out? Whoa. Did you just put a middleman in your own thing? You ain't got you the one. They ain't no figuring out.
That was pure you.
No. This is
no LLM assistance needed to create that sentence. But no, I think we know fundamentally authors when you're designing a word processing system for authors with AI at the core, the potential and the actual need to make the best tool is for authors to be able to customize that down as far as possible. So I think that's where naturally we're going to want to go and where the authors are going to drive us. I think what the reason we built this, and maybe we can show it in a moment too, so people know.
I'm about to, but I need to tell you what I need.
We're talking about that. I just want to say one more thing, and then I want to hear what you need. The reason we built it is because talking to an agent that has knowledge of what Plot Drive can do is the best way to teach new authors who hit the app and are like, what do I do? And I think that is a really exciting road to bring more authors who are curious using ChatGPT, using Claude, and are like, I'm sick of copy pasting what else is out there. Like, how do I really use this stuff? And
especially
so
if we get a huge influx of authors for some weird reason. Yeah, this will be a very good thing for them.
Can I tell you what I need now?
Yeah.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur beaucoup. As soon as reasonably possible from the dev team, if my test track could give me the ability to kind of like make multiple PBs and have access to the system prompt, I can go ham on doing the figuring out of the figuring out. Because I really think the value in this is being like teaching so many authors and being day and day, because I'm an admin over at the AI Writing for Authors Facebook group. We see post after post after post of people using GPTs and ChatGPT. They really like having some of that pre-programmed prompting in there just to lift up some of, the pressure on them, because this is all new technology.
One thing I'd be curious for you to try, maybe we could try it tonight, is use the system prompt in Plot Drive and tell it when you start the PB chat, tell it you must always read the system prompt, and this is your persona.
Okay.
Oh,
I was actually going to do it with a doc and say my doc is a persona, like do a doc and call it persona.
Yeah, call it persona. Yeah.
See, I'm already.
I was gonna say you're hacking away at it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hacked it the first day I got it.
Yeah.
Is it PB and PD? Because if it's PB, we got PB and J. You got the joke, skew lights. I said this to Steph earlier. I was like, it's Plotbot. It's PB. And she goes, yeah, because we got PB and J. And I was like, wait, what? And there's no jelly. She goes, no, there's a literal J. And I was like, oh.
I love it.
PB
All right.
and J.
So, there was something I wanted to talk to you about, Jay, before we started the live, but now we're on the live.
Wait,
I don't know.
The writing workshop tomorrow, perhaps?
No, but that too, but also the thing that's coming that I have been asking for, because
would you two like to go into the private chat over there
that's a good idea.
And chit chat with each other so that you don't let too many cats out of bags? Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, while we're doing that, I want to remind you that we are the Future Fiction Academy. And we have tons and tons and tons of standalone classes right over there, including wonderful things like choosing a publishing niche using AI, an easy peasy book machine, build it, bend it, and break it down, including incredible courses like romance outlines with AI for only $249. And if you have ever tried to make a romance outline by yourself and you are coming up with a lackluster sort of output, that is the one for you. There's a link below. Go down and go over to the Future Fiction Academy and get yourself involved in all of our standalone classes. And like everyone, I've got 55 people here because they're here for the Friday night party. But if what I want you to do is every single one of you, you too, every single one of you, that's right. Go down there and click on the like button, because then it gets it out to a whole bunch of other people and people who we have never even talked to before, especially with all of the cool things that we're developing over here, especially over at plotdrive.com, which we're about to show you a whole bunch of. You can go over there and get yourself a 7-day free trial and start this journey with us too. All right, what are we doing?
Did you see the chat, Jay, in the private chat?
Oh, no, I didn't even know there was a private chat.
Go on over, Jay. There's a private chat.
You go look at the private chat. I'm going to go show PB. I'm going to check out the comments here really fast. So June talked about the writing workshop tomorrow, says no prep required. If participants are to use Plot Drive, if they don't have any API keys ready, won't that stop them cold? No. Right? That's up now or not up yet?
Not yet, but I'm actually about to run through that issue. It's great.
I was like, I should have gone to the meeting yesterday.
We'll have a free key for people to use during the workshop, and I'll make sure at the beginning anyone knows how to do that, and then once we get rolling, I'll make sure anyone who needs help, I'll get them help to do that. Because I've seen you do it, and you can do it really fast. Get people going with a free key.
Yeah. I think I actually have one, so I'll check, because I think I set one up and nobody spent any money on it, and it's got like a $50 budget on it or something like that. So if they stick with the free models, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and speaking of free, I see now your chat on the side. So we are probably next week, when you come in and Plot Drive has a 7-day free trial right now. We're gonna be activating like a free model for people to use during that 7-day free trial, because one of the things call it a paper cut or whatever, hey, there's this cool AI app, you can try it, and come in, they hit that, and then they go to push a button and it tells them they can't go get API keys, sends them off on a journey. So now we're enabling people to use Plot Drive for free, to use Plotbot when we ship it, with testing from the community first to make sure it can add value. And I think it's already in a state where I think it could be pretty valuable to somebody new, but we're gonna ship that soon. So you'll be able to use that as well in the free trial. And then we're working out on our end some of the costs related to it and how to connect your own API keys to Plotbot, and figuring that out. But I think down the line we'll have like a very nice, smooth integration, so people who want to come in and try a limited version of PlotDrive for free can have a really sick experience and kind of taste the magic.
And for all of you aliens who are observing this many thousands of years in the future, he meant really good, not just sick.
That's well said. Sick. I've been hanging out in LA too long. Really good experience, great experience. And right, who says sick as a product founder?
That was awesome.
You're like,
y'all taking too long. Can I take over now, please?
He's my plot bot.
Okay.
Right.
I named him Plotbot.
Go do it.
Actually, the AI did. I did not. I just like that one.
Do it.
All right, y'all. Here's what we got.
What we got?
What we got is PlotDrive. Now, I am in the very cool test track section right here. Now, I'm going to start a whole new project. Create project. We'll call this Welcome PB. Create. Now,
if you make it a little bigger, will it be prohibitive to you?
I'm going to clear the message history. Can you see it okay?
Okay, yeah. I still know
Everyone see
that
it
people
okay?
are going to want it bigger. I know people are going to want it bigger. That's
It's
good.
already very big.
Now it is, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it can't be stored in the project. Now, there's a few things that I have not been able to test yet. So for example, I'm going to run with Jay real fast. Jay, can PlotDrive write, can PB write into a document yet? He can,
Yes.
but like all the time, like even a document that's already made, or only on creation?
What Harper did yesterday was insane. Like, I mean, maybe she's here and listening and can say
She is.
exactly what she did in chat, but she had to like read like her whole project, like make a summary of like inconsistencies of the timeline, then paste the report into a document inside a specific folder in red, and it just one-shot it.
It did do so. It used all your tools inside and
Yeah.
like did the highlighting and everything.
So
yeah, I didn't even know it could do that until she tried it.
Well,
I'm going to use Eldon's because I can see your name and you're giving me some genre here with grimdark and cyberpunk. So we're going to, I don't know.
It's
I'm not,
fascinating.
we'll go with grimdark.
That's super fascinating that she was able to have that type of dynamism, just right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it has access to all your documents, all your folders.
So I'm using 4.1 Mini right now, so I'm not even using a very expensive one. So look, it made a new document. It created a folder, Grimdark Short Story. It's making a document called Story Concepts and Themes, which it's already filling out. It's doing the character profiles. Setting and world building. And I can tell that it's going because it's over here, but if I don't want to see it, I can close it out. Plot, outline, and story draft. So I'm just doing something really quick here. Now, eventually, very soon, we'll be able to have like recipes and things, because if we can control this at the system prompt, which I'm going to do in just a second here, because it's also giving me a style guide.
Wait a minute. Are you going? What do you mean you're going to?
Whoa, it toggled stuff on. I did not toggle that on.
Yep. Yeah, it has
also rename your current document to something more descriptive.
What's it going to rename it to?
I don't know.
This is interesting.
Okay. It did not rename it. I guess it decided it didn't know what to do. So then it tells me what to do with all this stuff, just like Cursor. That's why the song I wrote, I don't do that. That Suno, that ChatGPT wrote when I told it what I needed, and then Suno made a story. It is like, coders have Cursor, authors are getting PlotDrive. And wasn't Cursor a big influence for you, Jay, in terms of how helpful it is for coders to have all of that, to have that chat assistant right there that can actually do work?
Yeah, I mean, we've been using those tools a long time, and we've been talking about the use of those tools a long time. Probably like, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks ago, I built inside Cursor using like a MCP server. I don't know if people know that what that is, but it's kind of like a API for LLM. I built some way for Cursor to call Plot Drive's tools and do stuff like this. And then I was like, huh, that's kind of weird, but also kind of interesting.
And
But
that got you on the train for like, well, what if we could just do all of that inside of? All right, so this is
yeah,
what's
but
interesting.
even then, I was more on your camp, Akela, where I was like, well, but what would it really do to really be useful? We have all these tools already, and authors can go really fast.
Hmm.
But then it was only when it was like, okay, now we're seeing a lot of friction for new authors who are trying Plot Drive, and then they're like, uh, I'm gonna have to watch these videos, or I'll get back to it, whatever. They never come back to it, or it's too hard to understand buttons. Like, all right, how can we like make the app like just guide them? And when we started thinking about that, we're like, well, actually, like this is actually like really nice for people at all different skill levels to kind of come in and just talk to it because it can help you figure out what to do. A lot of people's initial questions when they come to an AI writing app are not like, how do I like use the button thing? It's like, how do I continue my story that I have like 20,000 words in from this other app? Or, how do I start a new story and like actually finish it? And so having an agent that you could talk to that has knowledge of all of Plot Drive's tools, but also the ability to use those tools to help you or nudge you towards them. I think it was like, okay, let's make a prototype and see what happens. And here we are.
Huh. This is very fascinating because what Elizabeth just did was basically spin up an entire template for a story. Elizabeth, in each one of the documents, there's full like stuff in each one of the documents or anything?
There is. So I'm not sure where my Plot Drive, which project my Plot Drive key is in, but one of the questions was like, how many tokens does this use?
Oh, so that's
So
two things. It says you're using GPT-4 Mini, but that is false. That's connected to your buttons. The agent is on Claude 3.7 Sonnet,
Yeah, that was
and it's
yeah.
on
whoa,
our
whoa, whoa, whoa,
it's
whoa.
on our key.
Huh?
We haven't. It isn't figured out yet, Elizabeth.
Okay.
They're working on it. They're working on a
Yeah.
solution for this. I drilled them very hard about this yesterday or today or whatever about
So that
what how are we going to use the key? What LLMs we're using? Yeah.
So let me say two things on that front. One, that was a great discussion yesterday because today we were like, oh yeah, we should know how much this is costing too. Like, so we're like, let's build let's make sure that we see that and make it visible. We're using 3.7 Sonnet because it's the easiest, most reliable at function calling, which is actually the most important thing of making this useful, meaning it needs to like understand, hey, Elizabeth wanted to do all this. Like, I need to then call those tools reliably and not like spaz out and do something else because then it's really frustrating. So there's some models that are good at that. There are models we could fine tune that are really good at that
Mm,
too. And we can also have it like plug into your own keys or offer like a version of the tool calling orchestrator, but then when it calls the actual, hey, right into this document, it's using your keys and your models.
Oh, so
That
it's like
way,
handing off.
yeah, it's like an orchestrator that's being like,
Yeah.
okay, I should use the writing tool, and in the writing tool, I should look at Elizabeth's button library and see what writing buttons are set up for this type of workflow, and then call those and execute them. And then I think like it opens the door to even tying specific models to different buttons or workflows. So it's a big rabbit hole. I think the start of it is just making sure it calls those tools reliably so it feels good. And then being like, okay, what other models can we use? And then how much does this cost? And sort of how do we make that work for people who want to use it?
Gotcha. Yeah, I think maybe there's a yeah, it all has to be hammered out. So I get it. That's the beginning.
I love that. You just like you did all the calculations in your head before you said anything. You went, oh, I realized I should not say anything.
Yeah,
That was so good.
it ran through. We'll have this solved where you can choose the model and
It's very
totally.
It's very solvable. I think it's like, do we like it? Do we think it's going to be useful? Is it good? And then like, okay, here's the bar for what good is. Now let's make it work within our sort of system.
I just needed it to do this. I mean, not even this. I don't need it to do this, but what I find really cool about this, the opportunity is like this thing just tried to teach me how to write a book, and I didn't even give it any information. So if we were able to feed it some of the curriculum and research and some of the tactics and stuff that we use in the FFA, bringing that into Plotbot, and Plotbot is basically able to help handhold and guide people using PlotDrive, which is great because everybody who has the author accelerator, which is brand new, PlotDrive is included in it. PlotDrive Pro, complimentary. So you have full PlotDrive being a member of the author accelerator. And the way that works really, really fast is the FFA accelerator. There's a link down in the description, I take it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So y'all asked, we delivered. Okay. Lynn, this is Lynn Jordan's fault. Y'all should be like thanking Lynn Jordan because I was not reopening the mastermind. I was not. I was like, you know what? Y'all can start. No, I'm kidding. I was burnt out. I was burnt to a crisp, and after 2 years, it was just too much. So the accelerator, it's the first 90 days you're going to write a book. You're going to write a book with PlotDrive, with RaptorWrite, with whatever preferred tool you want to, but it's going to weekly accountability sessions with your learning leaders. And if you sign up before the end of May, guess when Mastermind will unlock for you? July 15th.
Yes, it will.
Now, if you wait till after May to join the accelerator, if you're like, no, Elizabeth, I'm not signing up in May. I don't want to be in the first group. I don't want to be special. I don't want to always be remembered as the first accelerator people. If that is you, and you do not want to sign up for the accelerator in May, if you wait until June, you will not get access to the mastermind until August. So go ahead.
What's included in the mastermind? Not the mastermind. What's included in the accelerator?
So the accelerator, it depends on if you go month to month, you get the first 2 modules. So if you do just 1 month at $249 and you're like, meh, this isn't me. No harm, no foul. Okay, you got basically the easy peasy book machine information.
And 2 months of PlotDrive
and 2 months of PlotDrive. 1 month of PlotDrive because you bought one. If you just buy the $249. Okay. So you get 1 month, yeah. And then you also get, the modules and everything like that. Now, the third module unlocks, you're going to write a whole book and you will get access to the mastermind. The other thing too is that everyone in the accelerator, you not only have access to PlotDrive, but you are going to be, number one, you're going to get a bunch of free tokens to beta test YourFirstDraft.ai. And I have some things to share on that, to show things that Jay hasn't even seen yet. And every single month that you are in the accelerator or mastermind, you get PlotDrive Pro. You also get all the mastermind stuff. You also get a free credit on YourFirstDraft.ai. So we are moving into a system where every single member of the FFA or the accelerator, you're going to have a free book a free draft written by AI. And that's on my dime. That's on my API key. Now, why? Because of the schemas. Schemas? A schema. You want to know what a schema is?
Why, yes, I do, Elizabeth.
There's chartreuse curry so far that's being worked on, and I'm going to have a cinnamon spice and a vanilla chai. So if everybody saw the N8N that I did a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago?
Huh?
It's just a few weeks ago.
It was just a few weeks ago. So the N8N, then you saw the workflow, an example of a workflow. So a schema is a workflow plus a fine tune. And so we call them a color or a flavor. So for example, the workflow for, let's say, cozy mystery. Might have a couple more loops on that story dossier and some other special checks on the chapters to make sure that it's cohesive with clues and not giving away anything it's not supposed to. So the workflow for Cozy Mystery will be unique. And then the fine tune that you put on top of that workflow, like one that's for a first person point of view female protagonist, maybe in her 30s, as opposed to a different flavor, a different schema, might be a first person female antagonist in her 60s. You could have a different schema for third person. You could have a different schema for something that involves an animal that's going to have scenes from it. So basically, when you niche down to your subgenre, you get to look at all these schemas, and you'll be browsing, and you'll get to read reading samples. You'll get to read sample books that were written with that schema. And so everything is done. Everything that we teach you in the FFA is done for you with your first draft. And as you go through your curriculum for your first year in the FFA, you will learn how to make your own fine tunes and stuff, just like we do for your first draft. And every author who makes a fine tune for your first draft will actually get payment based on each books that run through that. So we are authors for authors, by authors, all the authors, just for the authors.
Just for the authors.
Just for the authors. We know fine tunes are hard. Not everyone can do them. But those who can, we need help. We need more troops in the trenches.
And you should be able to take whatever the output is of your first draft and drop it straight into Plot Drive. You should be able to drop it straight into Plot Drive.
So you basically one-click a button, get the dossier. One-click a button, check your first chapter. Then you click go, and it's going to write you as many chapters as you asked for. They're all done. They're drafted for you. You drop them into Plot Drive, and you go to town with Plotbot and your buttons. What do you think, Greg?
Sounds pretty fun. I noticed on this website there's a lizard.
Yes. We are working on a name for him. So that's going to be one of the first things that people get to do is to name the little chameleon lizard. We're going to have that chameleon in all different ways because we're attacking all different genres for this. Also,
it's a chameleon.
It's a chameleon. Comma. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't get us struck here.
I don't sing that good. But can I show you this is just a teensy tiny bit of the madness that is going on right now with YourFirstDraft.ai. All I'm going to show you is the story dossier tool.
All right.
It's not even the story dossier full tool. It's the story dossier input. You'll see. It's really cool. Let me grab it. I had it and then I closed it because I was eating dinner. Okay. Where is... Oh, no. I put it in the wrong window. Apologies. Okay. We're going to go ahead and stop my screen and I will present. There you go. You see the little lizard? So this just got a really cool facelift right now. So y'all know how much I've said no ticky-tacky little boxes. I hate ticky-tacky little boxes.
Can we make it a little bigger?
Yep, I will. But for those of you who love ticky-tacky little boxes, here are your boxes, okay? But this thing also has features because of Hello. So let me go over just a little bit. So each part of your story dossier is one of these boxes here. So you have an undo button. We know you always need an undo button. So if I was to type dog and then click save, I should be able to undo and it goes away. That's important. Now, file. You can view the markdown at any time. So you can see if you want it in this format because you don't like boxes like me, and it has everything here. You can download this as a docx or as a markdown. I'm going to go ahead and close that. You also can view the JSON. Now, why in the heck are we viewing the JSON? Because Elizabeth was wrong. I'll say it again. I was wrong.
What did you say?
Well, I actually wasn't wrong then, but I am wrong now. Once upon a time, I told authors, you really shouldn't prompt in JSON because the early models would write back to you in JSON. That is no longer the case. The models that are so hard coded so hard trained to be good coders, we have a hypothesis that it's sending everything in JSON, and that's how it's keeping everything straight. So it knows how to write you JSON if you ask for it, but I think it's also finally been hard trained that even if it's fed JSON, unless it's specifically asked to come back in JSON, it does not return you JSON. Are you having any problems, Ikello, if you prompt in JSON for it to write back to you in JSON?
No, actually.
No.
Mostly because a lot of our N8N stuff is built around it. So you build the whole thing and then it spits it out, and it always spits it out fine.
Which also means that you can import your own JSON, because everyone's going to ask, can I just bring my own? Absolutely. So we have a box here that says hook. But if I was to edit the JSON and change this hook to pitch, being careful not to delete any of the quotation marks or anything like that. If I click Save Changes and I return to the dossier editor, you'll see that hook is now renamed pitch. Everything is fed off of JSON, which makes this very versatile. And everyone's going to be able to have different templates and everything like that. But now we get to go to the part that it's Ikello's fault. Are you ready? So this one is all about cozy. This one genre and tone is cozy fantasy, light-handed, humorous, moments of levity, playful conflict. And you'll see down here at the bottom, there was a magic thing, but we took it out. So let's go ahead and add magic. Should we add magic? I think we should add magic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to AI and I'm going to click this update dossier. And I'm going to say, add magic to this story world and the characters, and have at least one area of magic be based on
I have a request.
bodily functions.
Ooh, what's the request?
Wait, I want to amend that. Bodily functions of chameleons.
Of chameleons. Familiar, that is a chameleon.
Aww.
Even better.
Okay, so I'm going to click commit changes. Source content, we're going to get to that in just a minute. But I'm going to click commit changes. Now, this does take a couple of seconds, so we need the Jeopardy thing. We're going to have cool little animations, and it'll talk to you, but it's running a bunch of stuff on the back end. So it has updated the dossier successfully. And let's see what we have here. So let's see if we can find chameleon anywhere. Especially magic familiars such as chameleons. The body parts and functions of these familiars can influence the environment, the character skills, and even combat tactics.
Nice.
So it was able to update the entire, this is still early days, but you're going to be able to just, so imagine like a codex that you could just prompt and it could change the whole codex for you and update everything.
Oh, nice.
Now, Ikello said that we would be able to bring our own books in. So I'm going to go to Dossier Magic.
I did.
You did. You sure did.
Uh-oh,
So-
we lost Jay.
It's okay. I mean, he'll be back. I'm not like, I'm glad he's gone. Nothing like that. So I'm going to come over to Plot Drive. I'm going to go, oh, this isn't going to work. Hold on one second.
He's back. Jay's back.
I just wanted to tell my neighbors what was happening.
Oh no, what's happening?
It's a magic system with
with chameleons.
familiars who have combat skills activated by their
you were being
body.
facetious. I see.
Mm-hmm.
No. I ran and told my neighbor about the magic
I'm
system.
just that kind of guy.
Okay, but I'm going to actually, you guys can't see my screen, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Snowstorms and Schnapps. I'm going to go ahead and grab, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab chapter 1,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 2,
Ooh,
chapter 3,
no way.
chapter 4.
All right, you're starting to blow my mind here.
You can actually grab the whole thing, but we're going to start with just 5 chapters. And what I'm going to do is inside of your first draft, I'm just going to start pasting those in. So there is chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now, obviously, you can we're going to have where you can where you can go ahead and just pull in a document from this. This is just to show that right now we're in the what Joseph calls the throwaway it just works version. And chapter 5. So I have 5 chapters here, and I'm going to convert and replace the dossier. Now I can say the required categories here. So I can say hook, premise, characters, plot, romance, tropes.
Did you change it to pitch?
No, I mean, earlier I did, but it's fine because whatever I say here, it's going to completely convert and replace. It's going to read my book that I just put in there, and it's going to completely replace the story dossier. Now, why would we need that? Because you're going to be able to bring your other books into your first draft, like books 1, 2, and 3, make story dossiers of them, and then plug them in to be able to start writing writing book 4. So it knows.
Thank you.
That's a Kello clause. Y'all better thank you, Kello. But y'all know story. Look, no snow shops and stops. Snowstorms and shops. A high-powered professional, Caroline Mitchell, seeks solitude in a remote mountain cabin, escaping her hectic city life and recent health scare, only to be unexpectedly snowed in with a rugged mountain man, Jacob, leading to an intense, unforeseen romantic connection. Then it's got a premise. I have characters. I can go to Caroline, and it's got protagonist, and it has her traits all about her. If I click add characteristic, I could add
that's
zodiac sign. I'm going to add it. And now when I look at Caroline, I've got a spot for her zodiac sign. But not just her. I also have it for every other character. So if you add a trait for one character, it'll show up for all the rest of the characters too.
So nice.
Yes. And again, if you hate these, and the reason this is here is because you can, we're working on this. You can actually sort them differently. So you can move them around. You can also just change them here. So if I want enforced proximity to be the first one, whoopsies, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed home. I could come here, put a space down, and I can put that in there. And this is a Joe thing. It's not going to update until you click save. We're going to fix that. I had a meeting today with the person who's working on all the UI and everything like that. And we couldn't figure it out. I was like, I know, click save. And then it updated. I was like, I've made a lot of software where Joe. You just have to click save. We're going to fix it.
It should be a timed automatic save.
Yes. So this thing, we have add characteristic. You can add a list of things. You can add a category. You can add a list of categories. If I do a list of categories, for example, let's say the category is settings. I can click add settings, and now settings is in here, and now I can add a setting. So I can, how do I edit? That's coming. So I can add a setting. There's supposed to be an edit button here. Like I said, this is very early days that I'm showing this to you guys. But your sections, you can jump right to them right here. So if you have your notes right here, it created all of those. We did update dossier. We did dossier magic. Your file, you're going to be able to save, upload. I can upload JSON, and it'll just turn it in to my thing. Your story dossier, view JSON, and view Markdown. So that's it. That's the sneak peek you get. And if you're in the Author Accelerator, if you are in the Future Fiction Academy, you are going to be able to beta test this thing for free. And in addition to that, you're going to have a free credit every single month. And if we don't get it out until July, then I will make sure that you guys have extra credits for the fact that you were there since May. So anyone who's joining May and on, you'll start accruing credits for this thing in May, which is now.
I love it. I saw a little bit of a preview of it before, and I thought to myself, well, how will this all right, so here's a little backstory, everyone, just so we get this straight. N8N is an incredible automation tool. The reason that we are so excited about N8N is because it has so many things that can be plugged into it to make it do almost anything you want. Write a book, do marketing, email people, cold call people, make videos. If you do all of the steps in the right way, it does a lot of stuff. And as we were going through it and showing different people in the academy, that we were showing all of these people this, and the people would go, "What? Wow. Oh, okay. What do I do?" And we would go through, and so we made some basic classes and everything, but there's still a lot of goals that you have to achieve in order to get this thing done. And so we were trying to, Elizabeth was trying to figure out a way to make this a better experience for everyone. And so along came YourFirstDraft.ai, where she was like, well, maybe we'll just build a machine for them to be able to plug their stuff into and then get out and effectively 80 to 85% like their first draft. And if that was the case, then they would have this easy way to plunk down some cash, get themselves a draft, and then take that draft and drop it into Plot Drive or whatever wrapper you wanted, and do all kinds of interesting things with the information. So that is how this came about, was because we wanted people to have more access, have even more control, and have the ability to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and do it as quickly as they want, understand the monetary proposition, and go to town. Did have a nice straightforward way of being able to get that first draft out and go to town and have a budgeted business that actually has, like, look, so this is how much this costs, this is how much my cover costs, this is how much my and so you have all of these kind of very straightforward things. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your first draft.ai. So that's kind of our first sneak peek at it. We're all very excited over at the Academy for this new development, and so we were really excited to show it to you. And that's why on that thumbnail it just says your first draft.
There's a little yeah, you're correct, and there's a little bit more to the story too. The other thing that kind of went into Your First Draft and got eaten by Your First Draft is the Fine Tunes standalone class.
I forgot. You're right. It does color the story a little bit.
Yeah. So the thing is I believe in fine tunes. I know how powerful a fine tune is. I actually agree with one of the heads of product for OpenAI, where he even says in interviews, I don't know why people aren't jumping on fine tunes more. And that's because where making a fine tune is super easy for me, it is not super easy for everybody. My brain just works that way. Like, I'm in that Venn diagram space. But a lot of people, no matter how much I teach them about fine tunes, they just don't have the time to practice and the bandwidth of, like, oh my gosh, I've got to learn how to make my own fine tune. I've got to make my fine tune. I've got to learn my own prompting. Okay. And Elizabeth says I've got to learn how to sequence and N8N. And I also have to learn Plot Drive. And I also have to learn all these publishing things. And so we're working on trying to make that easier, but always keeping the author in control. So when you use YourFirstDraft.ai and you click the button and you get your story dossier and you make changes to it, and then you click the button and you get your first chapter and you make changes to it, and you click the button and you get all of your chapters, you will also be getting a PDF of every single prompt that ran. So we are not giving that up. So if it gets to the point of someone is like, I don't want to have to plunk down my money to Your First Draft anymore, I want to go learn how to use these prompts on my own and N8N and all that, you can. Go ahead. We gave it to you. Now, anyone who's like, well, Elizabeth, you're stupid. Believe me, I've heard it before. That someone's going to take those prompts and they're going to build a competitor for Your First Draft. And I'm just like, they can take the prompts and hook it up with their own fine tune, or take those prompts and put them into the like the base models, which everybody can do. Only we have the fine tunes made by authors for authors. I want to use Harper's fine tunes for romance. I want to use Ikello's fine tunes for sci-fi. Jay, you're going to have to get busy on some fantasy ones.
See, maybe I have a different view. I have a different view on this. I think what was interesting about what you said, or resonates with me the most, is that people don't have time to learn all this stuff, and I think my view is just on the whole, AI writing in general is sort of like, at the end of the day, the writer's number one job is to tell the story burning inside of them in a way that hopefully connects to at least one person. So it's like the journey is like, how do I tell better stories, and not like, how do I learn N8N, right? And what I think is cool about this is like, you give somebody, and this is extrapolation of what's cool about AI, you give somebody that ability who might be an author or might have trouble finishing, or might be early in their journey, or have been late in their journey but has been gone from their practice for a while. They have a creative idea that's burning, and then life is in the way. So actually sort of sitting down and getting going, when paralyzed with all these choices of things to do, is pretty hard. So being able to come and spend like an hour in this and then leave with the manifestation of
A
full
complete draft. Go
and then
play
you
with
can
it.
sit down and read it. You can upload it into like 11 Reader and listen to it and start making notes and start actually seeing, like, I finished that story in my head. It's kind of like a bit of a blob now, but I can exercise my own judgment to try to get it to be better. I think that is an amazing power, and I'm very curious to see like what people do with it.
You're muted, Hello. I can't hear you.
Sorry, my wife came in with some food, so I wanted to make sure I muted. And I also saw in the chat somewhere, people were wondering about where does that leave plot drive? These are completely different things. So plot drive, if you wanted to, you could spin up a whole thing and then work the easy peasy book machine and then get your whole thing. You can do this all in plot drive. Absolutely. Absolutely. What we are offering, and just so y'all know specifically, what we're offering is what I consider completely different than that, which is a chance at your first draft in a very short amount of time, from idea to first draft in an hour and a half's time, is what I'm thinking. And so what you and then you take that information, and it's a first draft. It's your first draft. Okay. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, it's your first draft. So what you're going to do is take that first draft and you're going to drop it into your wrapper of choice. Our wrapper of choice is Plot Drive. And so you take it and you put it in Plot Drive and you start using it, using all of the tools, including the PB bot that may or may not be coming eventually, but probably will. And take your information that you have and give it a whole bunch of information and let it go to town. Start building out really interesting characters. Maybe there's some stuff in the middle there that you don't have. You could start, oh my God, character sheets. If you had a a dossier, and then you take PB and then you go over there and you say, hey, take and break all of those characters out into their own sheets from that one thing and color code each title. Can you actually color code a title?
Well, you can.
Not
yet.
Not on the top bar, but you can.
Not yet.
Inside, inside the document, yeah.
Here's the thing.
I feel you.
I just thought of that.
Publishing as a industry, okay, is woefully slow to change. Okay. And one cornerstone of publishing, like TradPub Publishing, is the assistant editor, the slush pile reader, who literally would get drafts like what you're going to be able to get out of your first draft. And this person's job is to read the first couple of pages and see if it grabs them. If it doesn't grab them, it goes to the trash pile. So this person just sits and reads and goes through manuscripts. And their job is to find one or two manuscripts to give to the actual acquisitions editor and say, I think this one is worth your time to look at. And that's how they learn what's good, what's not, etc. With PB available, I fully see like coming to a live near you probably sometime in June, will be I run a book through Your First Draft. I get it. I throw it into Plot Drive, and then I give the story dossier to PB, and I say, hey, PB, I want you to read all those documents, and I want you to make me a report of anywhere this story falls short of the promises made in this document. I basically make PB my junior acquisitions editor. And so it can give me a report of exactly what's wrong with this draft. And then I use that information
Oh, wow.
when
That's
I read
super
it for the first
powerful.
time to make sure that I catch all of those and then also find the ones that I can find, because PB is the assistant junior editor. He ain't qualified to be the full acquisitions editor. That's my job. But it can help me take off some of the cognitive load. And I think that's the big promise of AI, is putting the cognitive load where it matters the most, in those delicious, delightful little moments of characterization and dialogue and description and everything like that, and taking the cognitive load off of, make me a document, go ahead and just generate me a first draft of this. So it's all about where your cognitive load is going to be in the future. And if your cognitive load is on more of the enjoyable artisan type things, you can delight a lot more readers, and you can also delight yourself with all these stories.
Oh, man, Kimberly, I wish I had known what you were saying right on Ekello for, but right on, right back.
She was saying that about all these different tools and how it's a different, that Plot Drive and Your First Draft are different tools, and one doesn't replace the other. And I don't think so, because Your First Draft is not going to let you get nitty gritty into the chapters. Our goal is to make a good tool that lets you get a draft and mosey, go finish it and publish it.
Yeah.
This is going to stop the analysis paralysis about prompting and what sequence should I use and what perfect prompt and model should I use. We got you. We'll get you a draft that's 80 to 85% there. Now go forth and fix it and publish it.
And then it's up to you. Then it is literally up to you to do whatever you want with it. That means if you decide you want to publish it next week, kind of with the 85% of mistakes in there, that's up to you. That's your job. You want to, that's your choice. Yep. But know that you have that choice now. It's your choice. So it's a big deal. Big deal.
I think the big thing is that I've been studying and working with AI writing for years now, and it's not slowing down in terms of the number of things that just keep coming down the pipeline. And I'm not going to give up my job as AI enthusiast, AI educator, AI innovator, AI experimenter, writer extraordinaire of fiction. But we can change the tools. I can be wrong on more than one thing and say, okay, we can have all these tools that allow an author to grow with as their AI skills and tech skills improve, but also serve them where they are right now in their AI education and AI use. And I think that that's what time it is now. It wasn't time for me to do that back when we were first starting the mastermind, and I was collecting people to like, hey, who wants to go on this wild ride and play with all these crazy things? But now we really need to start serving our fellow author who, for whatever reason, doesn't have the time or the ability to learn all of the stuff, but needs to be able to use the tools in order to still compete.
Hey, here's a question for you. April's saying, if I'm using PD, I don't want to go outside to PWA. What is that? Pro Writing Aid. Okay.
So here's the thing. Pro Writing Aid does have some AI stuff, but they're coming at it from the angle of editing, not writing. And Pro Writing Aid isn't designed to do a developmental edit. Right. The other thing is that those tools, the beta read and the dev editor and stuff like that, it is no different than you having the ability to prompt that yourself. So there's nothing wrong with using Pro Writing Aid or Grammarly or AutoCrit. I prefer AutoCrit personally because I've been using it for years. Oh my gosh, over a decade. I've been using AutoCrit. The thing is that I don't see those, like, we had to use those tools anyways before AI. I don't see them as necessarily being a requirement for AI writing.
It does make sense.
Oh, there was a couple of other questions earlier on that I wanted to answer about Your First Draft, because these are some more advanced questions. April Floyd asks, do I have to know JSON? No, the only Jason you may know that you have to know is that Jason Hamilton has Nerdy Novelist, which is a great channel. And
I know,
should
for
check it
real.
out.
That's all the Jason you have to know, girl.
If that's the only Jason you know, that's okay.
He gives great advice, by the way.
He does give great advice. We handle JSON for you inside of your first draft. So
See,
you
now
never
I cannot hear it. I can't unhear it now. I cannot hear it.
If you are someone who knows how to edit JSON, we're going to hold you back if we don't give you access to it. Did I say it wrong, Jason?
You said Jason.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of JSON, I need to go practice with Scott tomorrow's workshop.
Bye.
10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to come, 90 minutes, write a short story with Plot
What's
Drive.
the Instagram handle?
Plot Drive on Instagram. And the link is there to get
Plot Drive on Instagram. Hold on a minute here. So is it at Plot Drive?
Totally free. Yep. It's a creative writing challenge. So come with nothing but your mind. And we are all going to write a short story in 90 minutes.
On
And
Instagram.
that's where you follow to get the Zoom link.
That's where you go to get the Zoom link and to register for the event. I think that there's over 80 people registered for the event now.
I think we just hit 100. So it'll be it's more like a party, a Saturday party.
It's more like a party.
Yeah, Saturday creative writing.
What
party.
time is this?
10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. If
Is
you
that
can make
6
it,
p.m.?
but if
That's 1 p.m. That's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep, follow that Instagram because we're gonna do more of these pop-up sort of creative writing holidays, festivals, parties. We're gonna bring in some authors new and old as well. So Instagram will be where we're like, surprise, this is happening this week. So follow along.
Yep. And
you
can
can log on. You don't have to share your video if you don't want to.
Did you already put the link inside of Discord for everyone to go follow you on Instagram?
I believe we did. Yes.
Okay. And do you have? You know what? I will help you.
I was gonna. Can I post it in chat?
Of course. Yes.
Of course you
that's
can.
what I was gonna do. If you logged in, you can.
I think I'm logged in. Let's see.
I'm going to search for Plot Drive.
Okay, I posted it.
I found you and I'm following you. Oh my gosh. Everyone, if you're watching right now, please go follow them. They have I'm 33rd follower right now. So
you could say you were in at the beginning.
I gotta get in on that.
You could tell your neighbors.
So
Okay.
Before
that is
you know
tomorrow
it, you'll be
at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Right.
Have a good day, Jay.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see everybody.
So getting back to the question from April, you do not need to know JSON. We will help you, but we want to make tools that don't hold up people who already know JSON. So this is all about the new EAW who believes, yes, there should be transparency. Yes, we should let authors have as much control as possible. But we need to also bring some supports for authors to be able to use if they don't want to have to take the time to learn all that control. I think a lot of people thought that when I said that authors need control, they were like, she's saying everyone must write this way. Everyone must use AI this way. And that was never what I intended. I intended just for everyone to always have access to use AI at the fullest extent that other industries were getting.
Yeah, we were just showing you the ways that we use it. And
right.
So and we are very see, this is the problem. We're a very, very limited sample size, meaning I am the only person that does things the way that I do them. And so Elizabeth is also, but she shows people what she does. I show people what I do. So we influence people in the way that they use it. And in that influence, we're not actually trying to make you do things exactly the way that we're doing them, because you need control of your situations. How many times, Elizabeth, have you had people go, well, but it just doesn't, Elizabeth, that's great for you. And I love the way that all happens, but it just doesn't write that well for me.
Right.
How many times does that happen?
All the time. I
Right.
still have students to this day who are like, well, you can get it, but I can't get it. And I'm
Right.
just like, well, I mean, first of all, the first thing that happens a lot of times is when they actually show me what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then my favorite is sometimes they change the prompt that I gave them. And I'm like, you're missing out the last line that says, don't make any changes to the outline. Well, I didn't think I needed that. I'm like, that's the part that doesn't change the outline.
It's a huge, and as a matter of fact, some type of way to make it say, going always back in and saying, stick to the plan, is such an important part of it. And a lot of people, this is why we teach a lot of technique and not necessarily a lot of actual prompting. We're teaching you techniques for prompting, not necessarily the prompt. You'll notice that either I or Stacy or Steph or Elizabeth or whoever you watch prompt, we all will do it a little bit different, but we are always keeping in mind that we need to have certain parameters that we need to hit. And it's just, we've been working with a very long time, but what we're trying to show you is that you could do whatever you want. And as long as you get a good output, it's okay. It's all right. Like some people, I can't use that example.
No. And the other thing I was going to say is that the next thing that happens is they're doing it completely right in the exact way that I did it, but for whatever reason, their settings aren't the same. Like something happened with the API, or it was just like a bad roll, or they're doing it all correct. They get a good response, and they think that what they got, I wouldn't be happy with. And I'm like, this is great. I love that. I would love that response. And I'd make this tweak here and I'd make this tweak there. So sometimes they're comparing their writing style, voice to mine, and that's not appropriate because we're different people. And I've done 25 books and I've been publishing since 2011.
And you publish different kinds of books. You have
publish all different kinds of genres and all that. And I have my own preferences. Like there was a very long time that first person point of view squicked me out. The first year I taught AI, I could never demo it. Now I can demo it all the time. I had to grow in my writing. So I have turned into something that is not fully an author anymore. And I'm realizing that. Like I am an author, but I am like an AI fiction technician or an AI fiction engineer. I don't know, an AI fiction innovator, because I can just look at stuff and see the systems and come up with anything.
Using the word AI is almost disingenuous. You're a creative, creative technical engineer. I mean, you know what I mean? You use technology. Yeah, but you specialize in artificial intelligence, but
in really just large language models. Because when people ask me, like, can you help me with my image prompt or my video prompt? I'm like, nope. But come on,
be able to do that.
I'm like, yeah, I specialize in AI for writing. That's my specialty. That's what I do. If I was to push myself to learn all these other things and master all these other things, I wouldn't be nearly as good at what I do well. And I think that's the big message that authors need. Do more of what you do well, and what you do not do well, give it to the AI to do, or give it to someone else. Don't try to be someone else doing it.
The perfect example. If you are good at your first draft, guess what you don't need? You don't need your first draft. You don't need your first draft.ai, but you can't stand editing stuff. So you go and you get Plot Drive and you use it in Plot Drive. Say you can't stand writing the first draft. What do? You go over to Plot. You go over to. I almost said something different. You go over to YourFirstDraft.ai. I'm saying it over and over again because I've got to get used to it, because I used to say this other phrase that we thought that this site was, and it isn't this other phrase. It's YourFirstDraft.ai.
It's your first draft. It's not mine.
It's
yours.
We don't want to get people confused. YourFirstDraft.ai. Oh my gosh. You have no idea how many machinations we went through with this. YourFirstDraft.ai is extremely it's it's the place that you would go if you cannot stand to do your first draft. That's not your thing. You just love to edit, and you want to be
or rather, if you don't like sequencing, if you're like, I hate sequencing, I am never going to learn N8N, or I don't have time, or I learned N8N, but I don't have time to fall into the weeds of making all of my workflows or something like that. You know, I know someone very close and near to my heart who keeps making more workflows. She makes more workflows. She's very good at making workflows. She's not so good at using said workflows to actually finish books. Whereas I was someone who was able, okay, I made one workflow, it works, and now I just use that one. I just hammer on that one, and I tweak the model. I do want to answer June's question in just a second, though.
No, who? Question?
Yes. So let's go through this troubleshooting. June says, I do think that EAW has some magic over Plot Drive. I can't get Fix-It to just fix my selected words. It rewrites the whole chapter. Here's how I would troubleshoot this, June, and this is a really great question. My first question would be, what model are you using? Because if you are not using a smart model, it may be confused and want to just rewrite the whole chapter. The next thing I would do is I would make sure that you are reading the prompt preview of Fix-It that you're trying to run. Make sure it makes sense to you. Read it out loud. Look at how the documents, even Jay, increase your temperature a little bit. That's really low. Maybe you make it 0.5. But even Jay and even myself, I have found that a button's not working, and it turns out I've got a ghost document on. I have a document toggled on in a folder that I'm not in, and I'm injecting some crazy stuff into the prompt. The next thing is I would also make sure that the prompt makes sense. And then finally, since it's Claude, here's the deal. Sometimes Claude just don't listen. And if you have thinking turned on, that could be another problem, because thinking allows it to do the next, a couple of prompts when you click once. And so it can deviate from the original prompt. So that's my way of troubleshooting. What model are you using? Go ahead.
I'm shocked you had it. June, why isn't it just repeating itself being so low on temperature? Yeah, I
think that's why it's rewriting the whole chapter. She's got it at 0.3 temp.
As a matter of fact, June, I can guarantee you that if you raise your temperature up to 0.6, 0.5, 0.6, that it'll stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to, and the closer to 0 you go, the more it repeats the same words over and over again.
She says she's also used 0.7 temp. I honestly think Claude has fixed a lot of that, so it's just not doing that. My hunch is that there's something in the prompt preview that's not making sense. The other thing I would do is try another model. So if you're using Claude 3.7, try a different model, see if it follows the prompt. If it does, and Claude won't follow the prompt, it's just a prompt that doesn't work for Claude. And that just means you're going to have to change the prompt.
Yeah.
Remember, the Fix-It button predated Claude 3.7. So I can't promise that buttons that were made before models existed will work with those models.
Yeah, it's okay. Prose isn't as good. All right. So remember,
all right, I had that problem recently.
Let me give you some advice that I was given a long time ago by this woman named Elizabeth Ann West. She said to me a long time ago, you, Miss June, are going to have to take your fingers and your arms and stretch them out to your keyboard, and you're going to have to fix your prose yourself. Because if you if you fix your prose, especially in your first chapter, and you have something that it needs to reference back to continually kind of stay on track with style, just saying, this will be your friend. It will be your friend.
Do you guys want to see another sneak peek at your first draft?
All right. Go on. Sneak peek us. Ooh, everybody's pinging in about this. June, you got everybody rolling on this one. But it's the truth. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Actually, I've been cutting into GPUI and fixing it there. See? Wow, this is rolling. Everyone is bling, 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 bling.
But I love that about these lives. You can come, we are here every Friday night. Every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Mhm.
Come with your AI questions, even if it's not plot drive related, like if it's just about a model or something like that, we'll find someone in the house who can answer you.
Yeah.
Or we'll get back to you the following week because we'll run some experiments.
Well, and June, you cannot, if you're having these if anybody, as a matter of fact, while we're here, if anybody is having any kind of weird esoteric problems, we have community classes that if you are not in the community, you can go over to the well, wait a minute.
Yes, so go to the calendar. They're always on the calendar. So if you look at the main calendar, which should be in the description down below, you can see the community classes on there. Community classes are free and they're open to everyone. And Ikello and Lynn teach those classes.
Yep, we do. And they're on the calendar. And I am going to drop the calendar link in the description right here. And all you have to do is go over there and you'll see at the very you'll see in the actual calendar, you'll see it says community. It'll say Lynn Jordan community, Kello community. You actually click on the calendar event and it'll take you in so that you can get to your link. Do not click on the link that is at the top for the community class.
Let me just show them.
That does not work. It doesn't work.
Okay, don't look at this. Don't look at this. We'll come back to that. So if I go to Notion, the link that you're going to click on is not that. You will go to the calendar. So it'll look like this. And then you can find the community one. So let's go ahead and find this week. So this week right here is this one here. We already finished that. So Lynn Jordan has a community class at 7 o'clock. She always has a community class right before this live. So you click on this thing and you go down and you can find the Zoom link right down here.
And then click through and get into the community class.
Yep. These are completely free classes, but it does have to say community. I don't know why they're wrestling, but that's the community class, apparently. Scott has a community class sometimes too. Usually his community classes are specifically about plot drive and new plot drive tools. So if you want to get access to test track and like being able to play with PB, you want to look for Scott on the schedule and you can get into those classes. So you just got to kind of look. So we have another community class on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's the accelerator class. So you can't go to that one.
Yeah, now, the accelerator class. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, you click on that link, go over to the community, go over to the futurefictionacademy.com. And we also have links in the description. So just click on through to the links in the description. It actually should take you to there is a link to this calendar over on the site, right?
Yeah, there should be. We will add one. There probably isn't one. The way to get this calendar is usually either in our newsletter or we have it in every YouTube. We have it in it's all over the place. But really just save the link. It gets shared all the time. This is a free link to anyone, and then it has the links to where your Zoom classes are for when you purchase something. So,
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, go over to the futurefictionacademy.com, and you will have access to the gateway to our mastermind. That gateway to our mastermind is our 2025 May cohort, which is our accelerator, which costs $249 a month, which includes Plot Drive and YourFirstDraft.ai. If you don't want to get involved with any of that and you just want some standalone classes, then we have wonderful classes like choosing a publishing niche using AI for only $99. And also Easy Peasy Book Machine, build it, bend it, and break it down.
Go ahead.
I also have Harper, who is the author of Romance Outlines with AI. And we had a live a few weeks ago, and it really was over the top. Go over there. If you don't want to be involved in the mastermind, if you don't want to do the accelerator, you just want to get some of our free classes and some of our standalone classes, those are all available over at the Academy.
I forgot. If you join the accelerator, once the mastermind opens up, you get the standalone classes too. You have access to all of the standalone classes except for the Cozy Mystery one by Natasha Sass. So, like, if it's done by a guest, not Harper, then it is included in the Future Fiction Academy's mastermind, and the accelerator will also get access to it. I think we're actually working on them being able to get access to it from day one that they sign up for the accelerator, but that's coming. Dasha has to come in, so it's officially a YouTube live now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm waiting for Gracie to walk by, but I put her food on the other side, so she hasn't had a reason to walk by or get mad at me because I haven't fed her yet.
Yeah. Harper's like, I hear that a lot. Not Harper. Harper, you're practically staff. You just refuse to actually become it.
That's funny.
That's not my fault. I'm just working on it. I'm working on it. But I wanted to take a peek at this because I wanted to talk about what a great value the accelerator really is. Because it's not just $249 a month. I mean, that's one way you can do it. But so the other way that happens is if you do 6 months, you save. It would usually be over $1,400, but you can get 6 months for $12.99. We have never offered a discount if you buy multiple months that you can get a discount. And if you go with a full year at $24.99, you actually get 2 months free. You're basically paying for 10 months and getting 12 months.
Hi, Gracie. Thank you.
There's Gracie.
All right. We're good to go now. We are good to go.
So there is a question about the Plot Drive. If you are a Plot Drive subscriber, Plot Drive is included in the accelerator complimentary. So my recommendation is actually to keep your Plot Drive subscription, especially if the mastermind or something is a financial stretch for you, because that way it's easy for you as you come and you go. You've got your Plot Drive all good to go. It's all fine. So that's what I can say. If
$12.99 or $1,200?
It's well, let's scroll down. It is right here, $12.99 for 6 months.
All right.
You save $195 off the regular price of $14.94 if you buy 6 months. So, and then the full year, you actually get 2 full months for free, because it would usually be $2,988 and you're only paying $2,500.
Nice.
For the whole year. And to put this in perspective, this includes the fine-tune thing that we were selling for $5,000 for the whole thing.
Yes.
So, and we had people buy that.
Yes, we did.
But we had people buy that who had not done anything with us, and we were like, oh no, this is going to be nope, we got to fix this.
Yeah.
So we refunded them, and we retooled, and we were like, we're going to walk people through. So let's, Ikelo, talk about the 12-month program, the 12-module program that we finally put together as a curriculum, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So these first 4 modules, the basics, getting to know the Easy Peasy Book Machine, completing an entire writing project, all of that's in the first 3 months of the accelerator. And then you also unlock module 4 in the middle of month 3, which is sequencing your writing flow. And that's also when the mastermind unlocks. This right here, would you say that this is enough curriculum for anyone who wanted to just learn this and be able to write books with AI?
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't need it.
All I have to say is it was enough for Ingrid, and so it will be enough for everyone else. If she was able to, one of our students was able to take just our basic information, the basic things that we taught everyone, and was able to take that information, and she has published 48 books when we last checked in with her. She had published 48 books last year or this year.
Have you done an interview with her yet?
It
would be great if you could get an interview with her, because she has been one of the original mastermind members.
Yeah, it would be. She has a full-blown publishing business. She has taken all of this information, all of these innovations, all of the mega prompts, all of the sequencing with the easy peasy book machines. She's really worked hard to figure out how to use these things for her business and made herself because the numbers is what happens. What ends up happening with a publishing business, and that's different than being an author. You are then becoming a publisher. You are then putting out enough books so that you have a machine going. You have book covers. You have all of these things, and you're putting all of the different things out in different kinds of formats, you are a publisher.
Yeah.
And that's what she does. And you're right. I will have to bring Ingrid on, and we yes, I will be talking.
Well, we have the amazing Lynn Jordan in the house, who's the director of the Accelerator, and she mentioned, don't forget about the translations class. So the translation class is $4.99, but as soon as you unlock the mastermind, it's yours.
It's free.
Well, it's not free. It's included, because if you leave the mastermind, it
free.
goes away. So
I didn't actually mean free.
Yeah, it's not free. Don't, you gotta be careful what you say.
I know, for real. My gosh.
But I do want to talk about these other modules, because once you unlock the mastermind, these other modules are going to unlock for you. So you won't have to, it won't keep dripping. Once you're past your module 3, you've written a book with AI, you get the rest of the modules that are available. And that is writing your second book. We talk about all of our other methods, the PEZ method, the gladiator method. Like, we have a lot of different stuff there.
All right. So, I've forgotten about PEZ.
I know.
That's a Steph thing. Isn't that a Steph thing?
It's a Steph thing. It's for the pantsers. This module will help you see there's not a perfect way to write with AI, just the way that's perfect for you. And we've been at this for many years, and that is the number one thing we have learned in the Future Fiction Academy. The way I write with AI is not necessarily the way that you are going to write with AI. And it's not necessarily the same way that he's going to write with AI, or she's going to write with AI, or they are going to write with AI.
No.
Nope.
It's just, we want you to have control. That's all. And that control means that control may mean a lot of independence to you. It may mean that literally we are giving you the world to choose from, and you have to make the choice on which road you want to go down.
Yeah.
We can't make you do that, but we can give you a lot of tools like YourFirstDraft.ai if you don't want to write the book in the first place, but you do have a great idea. Or
the second book can just be written with YourDraft.ai, and then Module 6 teaches you how to edit it.
Yep.
So we're going forward here. If you see the screen, we got editing with AI. Then we talk about AI as your publishing assistant. There's so many things you can get the AI to do today that we could not get it done 3 years ago. Yeah, or even a year ago, or 2 years ago. Then we have book covers and marketing. We have AI audio and video, where your wonderful Ikello, Suno, and all the video tools and stuff. It's all coming.
I hope y'all enjoyed that live stream yesterday. And if you haven't seen the live stream, go ahead on over there and watch that live stream. I went through, I even hummed a thing, and then we made a whole bunch of different versions of that humming thing into bossa novas, film scores, all kinds of stuff.
Cool. Writing series with AI is module 10. Module 11 is fine tunes. And then module 12 is agents, specifically N8N. So if you buy a year for the $24.99, you really get a lot of value for it. And if you go with the month to month, once you get past a certain point, you do unlock the mastermind. You can always come and go for $249. That's your price, basically. So once you unlock the mastermind, you can very easily come and go. No problems. So I think here is Moonchild says, how is the accelerator related to the original mastermind? Everyone in the mastermind has access to the accelerator, and the accelerator is the program that people who have not already been a member of the mastermind, they have to go through it to get them up to speed on our vernacular, the workflows, the tools that we use, etc. There is no way to skip the accelerator. People have already tried. And my response to that is, you had multiple opportunities to come join the mastermind for just 1 month. We said over and over and over again for 2 years straight, if you pay for 1 month with the mastermind, that's it. You're in. 2 years later, people want to be like, well, I want to be a part of the mastermind. The original members of the mastermind worked their tails off in testing and innovating, and I want to honor, exactly, you did that. So I want to honor that. So if you've already been a member of the accelerator or a member of the mastermind and you just want to come back, you can come back at your original price. It just will not include plot drive. So because we didn't have that deal in with them when we did your pricing.
Daniel, what are you meaning that by is it out there? You're saying out there, look for it earlier today and didn't see it. Look for what earlier today?
I don't know. We'll have to have more information. And Suno. Yeah, Suno's out. 4.5 is out. I just used it.
Yeah.
You have to
I did a live stream yesterday. I didn't put a video out. It was a live stream.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So go look for the live stream. That's why you probably can't see it.
And Harper says that was a long, hard road. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And Kim says, accelerators like onboarding for Mastermind. There's so much to learn. Now, this is not an elite thing. This is actually to protect you. You can ask the people who joined the Mastermind in November during the last call. So many people were like, this is too much. It's a fire hose. It is.
Literally, the word fire hose got used so many times because you go in there and you're like, well, I need to learn this and I need to learn that. And then you start taking the information in and start realizing, oh my gosh, I don't know if I know what this phrase is. And I don't know, and so we just want to make it so that you have a better opportunity to not drown, to not. And
it's not fair. It's not fair to throw everybody into the deep end. No. So how do we get people caught up who weren't able to be there for the first couple of years, and then now they can be there? That's why we created the accelerator. And it's not even we. This is Lynn Jordan's fault. This is all Lynn Jordan's fault. You would not have the opportunity to join the mastermind. You'd have your first draft and you'd be quiet about it. That's what you get. Mm-hmm. So the only reason people are able to come into the mastermind is because of the accelerator. And that's because so many classes. Yes, we actually did have people crying and I had to comfort them, but there's just so much right now. I can't even keep up. I can't even keep up with all of the models. You want to know what I think about Grok? Heck, if I know, I don't use Grok. I don't have time. I can't be an expert in OpenAI and Claude and fine-tuning and Mistral and writing and publishing and all of the policy changes and all the international law that is going on around AI and also innovate new ways to use it and everything like that and keep up with mamby-pamby models that are coming out trying to keep up with Claude and ChatGPT. I don't have time for it.
Oh, and and if I see another benchmark with a little bit of a tick up, bit of a tick up.
But hello, this one is 0.3% better at math. So it wins.
It just is driving me crazy. I mean, but given they have to do these things and they have to saturate these benchmarks in order to get to what they consider are a sort of generalized artificial intelligence. I understand that. I just know that for what we do, specifically what we do, it doesn't really matter if these things are incrementally better. They've got to actually be a lot better in order for us to care now.
Magnitudes. Why should I change the thing that's working perfectly fine for me if I can't tell a difference of why your model is better?
Yeah.
So, and Danny says, yeah, don't get me started on that, Echello.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Moonchild says that they're with Claude and ChatGPT, and that's it. I had to test out so many models. Liz says, we love you, Lynn. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So I do want to stress one thing, though, about the accelerator. The accelerator is not closing. It is open. It is every month a new cohort joins. There is already, I think it's 16 people in the May accelerator in 1 week. So there's 16 people in that cohort class. And there's still obviously 3 weeks left to be part of the May 2025 class. And then we'll open up June. And so then the June people will be on a different schedule than the May people. So the June people won't get mastermind till August. And this gives us time to answer questions. You get to talk to Lynn and Alyssa. You get to message them. You can message Echello. You can be in Discord saying, Echello, I don't know how to do this. Trust me, he has no problems helping you. Right, Echello?
No, I don't have any problem.
You do.
I help people all the time, actually.
Yep.
So, what's this say?
Jen BB says, between the 3 main providers and a few others, there are 10 new models in the past month. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there are like 10 new models in the past month.
If we're in the mastermind, do you want us to officially sign up to Accelerator? You should not have to. It's already in your Teachable. So no, do not go buy the Accelerator or anything like that. If you do not have access for some reason, please email Dean, the Dean email, dean@futurefictionacademy.com. Some people who were in OG stuff, we did do a mass import, but Teachable can be wonky.
Oh,
So
right.
if Teachable didn't add you and you're supposed to be in it, talk to dean@futurefictionacademy.com. We'll get you sorted. We had like a couple of people that had, I don't know, Teachable just had a bad hair day. I don't know what it is.
Oh,
You can submit homework. Just please label it and let Lynn and Alyssa know, let them know that you're already in the mastermind. So if they can do it, they will. And if they have extra homework that can't be evaluated, they can ping other people on staff to help them. We do not want to overwhelm Lynn and Alyssa, but I don't think they're overwhelmed now. Now, I will say, if you are in the mastermind and you are submitting homework for Lynn and Alyssa, I hope you will volunteer in the future to grade future homework for other accelerator people.
yeah, for other cohorts.
Yes, for other cohorts. I'm sure we would love to have some big brother, big sisters of cohorts.
But you know, Elizabeth, I'm really happy that the people who are actually in the mastermind are enthusiastic about this too, because like we said, it's a fire hose, y'all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of info, not people, a lot of info. Actually, it is a lot of people, because what ends up happening is we get these, we open up the mastermind, and then all of a sudden our classes are
75 people.
80 people in the class, and everyone's, and you're trying your best not to miss people. That's the stuff.
Right. And I'm trying to
so,
teach a fine tune, and someone, no shame on them, but they want to ask, they can't even do that because they need to ask questions about different models, or they need to ask questions about what temperature does, or they need to ask questions about what's a story dossier. And I'm like, this is not the class for you.
Yeah,
but
this is not that class.
But it might be the only time that they could attend a live. So,
right. So we're giving people other opportunities.
Yeah. So my policy is, yes, you can ask me any question in class live. I may have to save you to the end. Mm-hmm. Most time you'll distract me and I'll just go on that thing, go on that tangent. We have more and more people joining the teaching staff every single day who are very talented with AI. People who run circles with me over me in different models and different AI capabilities. If anyone comes to me with a question about romance outlines, for example, I'm not answering that. I'm going to send them to Steph, or send them to Harper. If someone says, hey, Elizabeth, I've got questions about translations, I'm going to say, you need to talk to Christina, Steph, or Olivia. This is not my domain.
I have to say, automation wise, I saw, I'm going to call you out today, Jen BB.
Ooh, Jen BB.
Okay, so let me let you know. So think about the way that you might automate something, generally someone. You're going to have a trigger, a thing that you built that you that to start the process, right? To trigger the automation. Sometimes you make a form, sometimes you make a document, sometimes you do other kinds of triggers. And it goes off, does the machine, comes back and does it again if it needs to do it. That's how most of us work.
That's an innate N.
That's an innate N. You just
yeah. What is Jen using? Airtable?
No, Jen, she decided that she didn't like the way it did most of the things it did, so she decided. Yes.
Was this are you turning into EAW? Was this privileged information?
No. I'm not going to tell you specifics. I am just going to say that she looks at the problem and goes, I don't want to do it that way because it's not going to do the thing I want it to do. So what did Jen do? She built a completely different type of workflow just so that the output she got was infinitely more better than the stuff that I have been putting together.
Okay, now I need details. Like, if she just has a more complicated workflow, or
she has a workflow that literally I couldn't. At first,
Okay,
as I was.
throw us some crumbs here. Just give me some nouns so I at least can wrap my brain around this because I'm having a hard time.
Well, see, this is the thing. I looked at her workflow and I thought that it was a regular trigger, and no, it isn't a regular trigger. She's built an entire mechanism in order to facilitate this thing. She has, like, I can't say.
Okay, don't say it. We put it on her to say, so she'll let us know in the chat, or she'll private message me on Discord. She made separate component workflows with a front end to run it.
That was the part that I was leaving out. She has
made her own Your First Draft.
Yes, I said, I didn't want to say what she did because it's up to her, but she figured out a completely different way so that she could get the top, like the top quality that she could possibly do. Jen, like I said, I wasn't going to call you out completely. I just
wanted Jen.
I just wanted you, Mo Better Jen. Her brain. There are a few people. There's this a person at work, and she's very funny, and she'll say things real quick, and I'll be like, God, I love your brain. Every time I'm in a meeting with Jen, I feel like I am privileged to be there because her brain works so amazingly. And yes, you can blush all you want right now, Jen, but that's the God honest truth. I enjoy your company. I enjoy listening to you talk.
Harper, talk to Jen about what it's like to make your own standalone class. Harper, get a hold of Jen, please. So on that note, can I show you the thing that I was going to show you earlier, but I didn't show it to you, about Your First Draft, the last little sneak peek at it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, and thank you guys so much for hearing all about the accelerator and everything like that. I hope to see you in class, but you're going to have to go through some mini bosses before you get to meet the big boss. So you have to go at least write a book with AI, and then you can write your second book with Your First Draft. And then you get to come to my classes and cry.
Look at some of these comments. Making a front end with N8N was a lot of fun. 11
and recommend making it pretty. So let's take a look at the front end for N8N. That is Your First Draft. So this is just a mock-up. This is not finalized, but just to give you an idea of how this would work for people is that we're trying to keep it very simple so that you have your name of your projects. So if I was to click on the Dragon's Call, for example, it would have exactly what it is. You could have you could have your book cover. It'll tell you what the book is about. You'll see we have some lorem ipsum. And it'll show you the status, and then it'll have your different files that are there. But these things,
how does the cover get there? I'm sorry, I missed.
You get to upload it. We will eventually have a cover maker, but for right now, it's going to be, I think, you upload it. Mm-hmm. So the schema, that's what we were talking about earlier. So here's like an example of like lavender licorice. And, someone might like lavender liquor. Like, so the people making these fine tunes can have like entire branding around like their fine tunes. So if someone does fine tunes, say like somebody could do fine tunes in a bunch of different genres, and they always preface their fine tunes with lavender. So, a lavender joint is the kind of writing style you like the best. So you look for that lavender in the other genres. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think authors and readers, I think authors specifically are going to be like, did you try Midnight Mocha? No, I tried vanilla latte. Oh, trust me, you need to try the Midnight Mocha. And when you click on these, it'll take you to a schema page that'll explain what model was fine-tuned, what was some of the sample data that was used, and it'll show you an example of a dossier and an example of a book written with that schema so that you'll know what the writing style sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And then these are what the status button is actually your button. So like if I click on dossier, if it was empty, I could take it to my dossier, the chapter 1, this is saying it's not started. But if I come over, these will eventually link to different things, to different screens to take you to your chapter 1. They're just not hooked up right now. But this is I know it seems like we don't need to have a list, but I guarantee you at the price point that we're thinking about introducing this into the market, people are going to go ham you're going to be able to, for a few $100s, probably to write enough books to do your publishing company for the entire year if you want to.
That's 1 book a month. That's 2 books a month. That's 3 books a month.
So, I mean, the schema are making me hungry. Now, fine-tunes, who other than OpenAI allows for that? That's a good question, Danny. Those in the mastermind know that Mistral allows for fine-tunes. So does Google, and so does OpenAI. We are also going to be working over the summer on some more other advanced fine-tune tools. The first thing that we're doing is getting the Your First Draft all set up, but there are some other models, open source models for fine-tuning and things like that we're going to be experimenting with over the summer.
All right, anybody that's new in there right now, please do me a favor, like and or subscribe. There are so many people that watch this live that still haven't subscribed. So do me a favor, subscribe, everyone. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
So there's a question of, can they use this separate from Mastermind? Absolutely. So the members of the Mastermind get 1 free credit a month. Everybody else in the general public, they will pay for their credits. So we're still working on pricing and everything like that, but I can tell you there will be an introductory pricing that people can buy a bunch of credits for those first few weeks. And then the regular price of credits will probably be somewhere between $50 to $70. I think that's the right price point for just a standalone book. And then as we start adding like series and things like that, there's more. And again, this is designed to save you 6 to 10 hours of copying and pasting or wrestling with easy peasy book machine prompts, or if those kinds of things are what's really aggravating you. This, for less than $100, you'll be able to click and get a book that's ready to be edited. I mean, it's probably the most affordable ghostwriter that's out there. You get to give your ideas. You get to direct it. You get to be the creative director. And then
James Patterson.
Yeah, you get to be the James Patterson type person, and your co-writer is the AI. And then on top of that, we're stacking even higher quality that the fine tunes bring. You guys saw the difference in the fine tunes of 4.1 mini when I fine tuned it to actually do that and everything like that. June says outlines on Upwork are $50 to $150. So a first draft for $50 is great. We know we could charge more for this. My goal is to get every author who needs AI and really doesn't have the time or the bandwidth. They can use YourFirstDraft.ai. And we have an even bigger project that I am not ready to announce at all right now. I'm not.
Really?
Nope.
Okay. Can you get through the rest of the live stream, everyone, without spilling the beans?
I'll tell you why I'm not going to say nothing about it.
Oh, well, and she's going to probably say something because she isn't saying anything.
I'm not going to say anything about it because
she can't help it.
I took it to the mastermind and I don't have full buy-in from the mastermind. So I've got to do a little bit more on the messaging and make sure that people can understand it the first time I talked about it. And once I have more buy-in and more clarity on explaining it, then we will start talking about it in public. But until then, just like all the ideas, it goes to the mastermind. And if you're in the mastermind and you're wondering what the heck she's talking about, go check out 25 and 25 from last week. This week.
That's it.
I did it.
Look at her. I am so proud of her, everyone.
We're doing something better than the press.
Say what?
We're doing something better than the press.
Okay, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all, thank you, everyone. We have...
Oh, no. April said she did not get it up there yet, so hold on. What? That's from Tuesday.
Oh, my gosh.
The morning one, April, not the evening one. Shut it down.
All right.
I do need to go rest. I'm still having problems with my health, and I know we didn't do a lot of prompting tonight, but I hope we inspired a lot of imagination about what the future is going to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was like, let's get her off of here. Please, let's get her off of here. As you can see, my name's Ekello Harrod. I'm your DJ. And this, I had that on there for yesterday's live stream.
I'm your DJ.
And it populated again. So I guess I'm still your DJ, Ekello Harrod. And this is Elizabeth Ann West. and she's very, very, very well known as EAW. And we are the Future Fiction Academy. We have YourFirstDraft.ai. We have an accelerator that you can get involved in, that if you wanted to, you could do 6 months for $1,299, which is a very big discount to the $249 a month. That includes 1 credit of your YourFirstDraft.ai, or and also a subscription to Plot Drive. So from our hearts to yours, thank you, everyone. We have had ourselves a really good time playing around with y'all today, showing you all of the cool things. And next week, we are going to do it all again. I appreciate you, Elizabeth. This is always so much fun when we get together and we get to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, girl. I love it.
I want to do some Dino Trainer and some basic fine tuning.
Ooh, next week?
Yeah, I think if I'm healthy, we'll do that next week. Just a little bit. So people can see just a little bit of fine tuning, and that way they'll understand more about what they get with the accelerator and the mastermind that they get. It unlocks the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that okay? Is everyone okay with that if we do a little bit of fine tuning next week?
Anybody? Everybody?
No.
Y'all good? They're all like, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. They're like, all right, that's what you
we got a cool, we got a yes, we got a yep.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, then next week we're going to be talking about, I'm going to actually make that thumbnail tonight. We're going to be talking about Dino Trainer and Fine Tunes tomorrow, next week. It's going to be a lot of fun because Dino Trainer is a program that you can use for free. So it's free. So, and it's another one of those things that we developed. We developed so many pieces of software and help develop so many pieces of software and partner with people. And we have been trying our best to get the word out there that it is not a bad thing to be AI positive. So join us on this AI positive journey. As I said before, I'm Mikel O'Haron.
I'm Elizabeth Ann West.
And we are the Future Fiction Academy. And we will see all of you in class.
Yes.
Writing real stories in our own damn ways.
Drive
dreams, easy peasy flow. Plan it, write it, edit, let the good words grow. Yeah, plot, drive dreams, API keys fly. We ain't asking for permission, we're taking the sky. Bye-bye, jailbreaks. Bye-bye, guessing games. Hello, blueprint. Plot drives calling names. Plot it, write it, edit it, own it. This is your story now.